Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we've made what we think is the greatest 11 ever to play under Jose Mourinho. Goalkeeper, Petr Cech. A star on a Ran team fighting relegation, Petr Cech was actually signed for Chelsea by Claudio Ranieri in February 2004, though by the time he joined the club in the summer, the Italian had been replaced with Mourinho. Originally intended to be the understudy to Carlo Cudicini, an injury to the keeper put Cech in the first team, and he kept a clean sheet on his debut in a 1-0 win over Man United. He went on to set a record of 10 consecutive clean sheets that season, not conceding a league goal between the 18th of November 2004 and the 15th of March 2005. He ended up with 162 shutouts for the Blues in 333 league appearances, giving him a record of 0.48 clean sheets per game. That's better than any keeper in PL history, including Van der Sar, Seaman and Schmeichel. He also won 4 PL titles, 4 FA Cups and the Champions League. Not bad for a guy who cost £7 million. Right back, Javier Zanetti. To call Zanetti tireless would suggest that the Argentinian was just a workhorse, and undeniably, Zanetti was perhaps football's greatest professional, devoting himself to training and the good of Inter Milan. But he was also quick, intelligent, skillful, a good passer and dribbler, and the perfect leader of men. Already 35 when Mourinho rolled into the San Siro, Zanetti played in both fullback spots and in defensive midfield for the Portuguese, missing just one league game in Jose's 2 seasons at Inter. He set a record for consecutive Serie A appearances with an incredible 149, and captained the Nerazzurri during their 2010 treble, as the side conceded just 9 goals in 13 Champions League games. That year brought Zanetti his 5th and final Scudetto and his 700th appearance for Inter. He ended up retiring at 40 in 2014 after 858 games for the club. Centre-back, Lucio. Brazil is rightly famed for producing skillful, nimble attackers, but the country also has a history of rational, tough players, like Socrates, Dunga and centre-back Lucio. The defender first came to Europe with Leverkusen and finished runner-up in the Champions League before winning the World Cup, playing every minute of the tournament. Then came Bayern and 3 Bundesliga titles before Mourinho swooped for him in 2009. Lucio was already 31 when he arrived at Inter Milan, but paired with Walter Samuel, he thrived as Inter conceded just 34 goals in 38 league games and raced to a treble. Lucio eventually returned to Brazil, capped 105 times, and with the Copa America the only major honour missing from his CV. His success at Inter was a perfect encapsulation of Mourinho's best quality, his ability to coax every last drop of talent out of a veteran. Centre-back, John Terry. In 2005, John Terry captained Chelsea to their first title in 50 years, and only the second in their history. In 2015, he captained them to their 5th. For a decade, Terry was one of the best centre-backs in the world, a rock as the Blues went from mediocrity to the winners of every major club honour. Terry didn't reinvent his position or have a sophisticated passing game, he was simply a great defender. Already good when Mourinho arrived, he missed just 4 games as the side won back-to-back titles, and when Jose returned in 2013, Terry was still there and still outstanding, becoming only the 2nd outfield player in PL history to play every minute of a league-winning campaign. Mourinho has come and gone twice at Stamford Bridge, but Terry remains and has passed 700 games in the shirt, putting him within spitting distance of Paul Scholes' record for Man United. You might love him, you might hate him, but as a player, you have to admire him. Left back, Ashley Cole. The signing of Ashley Cole in 2006 didn't bring Mourinho the championship, and in fact, Cole never won the title under the special one. But it firmly established the end of Arsenal's dominance in London as the Blues took one of their rivals' best players. An attack-minded fullback, Cole could take up the entire flank on his own and spent 8 years at Stamford Bridge before Jose let him leave on a free in 2014. He played 338 games for the side and won every club honour, to go with his 2 titles and 3 FA Cups from Arsenal. Included in the PL's Team of the Year 4 times, Cole is the most capped fullback in the history of the England national team, and one of just 9 players to reach a century of games for the country. He had to make our squad. Central midfielder, Claude Makelele. Already 30 when he went to Chelsea, Claude Makelele has a claim to being the greatest defensive midfielder of all time. For 5 years he ruled the middle third at Stamford Bridge, winning the ball with ease and transitioning the Blues into attack. Despite what Florentino Perez claimed at Real Madrid, Makelele was a very solid technical player with good passing, and his reading of the game allowed him to evade pressure. He won 15 trophies at club level, but remarkably was not selected for World Cup '98 or Euro 2000, missing France's greatest triumphs. His dominance in defensive midfield saw the position christened the Makelele role by the British press, but as Zinedine Zidane once predicted, the little Frenchman would turn out to be irreplaceable. Sorry N'Golo Kante, you've got a long way to go. Central midfielder, Deco. A superstar all of Mourinho's making, Deco was a Brazilian-born player who ended up winning 75 caps for Portugal. Despite showing his talent at Benfica as a 20-year-old, then Eagles boss Graham Souness was unimpressed and let the youngster leave to join rivals Porto. He won 3 titles and became the hub of Mourinho's Champions League winning side in 2004, scoring in the final, racking up the most assists in the tournament and coming second in the Ballon d'Or. He went on to Barca, won the Champions League again and then joined Chelsea, just missing his former boss and instead working under Scolari and Ancelotti. He ended his career with Fluminense in the country of his birth, ending up with 8 league winners' medals from 4 different countries. Central midfielder, Frank Lampard. It's strange that one of the greatest goalscorers in Premier League history didn't play up front. Frank Lampard was a terrific all-around midfielder, but also put up simply staggering goal numbers, getting into double figures in the league for 10 consecutive seasons. Lampard only scored under 10 in 3 campaigns at Stamford Bridge, and he won back-to-back Premier League titles and even came in second for the Ballon d'Or under Mourinho, finishing above Henry, Zidane and Maldini. He is Chelsea's all-time top scorer, with Makelele's tireless work in defensive midfield allowing the Englishman to burst forward. Sometimes overlooked because he lacked Gerrard's flair for the spectacular and Scholes' outrageous passing range, Lampard could do a bit of everything, and he mirrored his boss in one crucial respect: he was a match winner. Right wing, Eden Hazard. We were tempted to include Arjen Robben here, but as good as he was for Chelsea, the Dutchman was better for Bayern, and so we've chosen Belgian wideman Eden Hazard. In 2 seasons under Jose, Hazard scored 28 goals and grabbed 16 assists in 73 league games, as well as the 14-15 Premier League title. Mourinho took Hazard from talented youngster to global star, with the winger winning the Premier League's Young Player of the Year award in 2013-14 and the Senior Player of the Year award in 14-15. His value, according to Transfermarkt, rose from £28 million to £60 million, and in 2017 Real Madrid fans voted Hazard the player they wanted most, over Dybala, De Gea, Griezmann and Aubameyang. Despite his reputation for failing to give youth a chance, Mourinho's role in creating Hazard was undeniable, and if he joins Los Merengues, Real will grudgingly owe him one. Striker, Didier Drogba. You're probably thinking that we're going to talk about what a great goalscorer Didier Drogba was, but he actually wasn't that prolific. The Ivorian only bagged more than 20 league goals twice while at Chelsea, with his next best campaign yielding just 12 strikes. But Drogba was so much more than a poacher. An enormous physical presence, he was impossible to mark out of the game and was able to hold the ball up and bring his teammates into play, registering 71 assists in his 8 years with the Blues. The big occasion was Drogba's bread and butter, and he scored 10 goals in 10 finals, bringing the club 10 trophies, including the Champions League. A modern, intelligent attacker with the physique and power of an old-school centre-forward, Drogba was the prototypical striker for every Mourinho team that came after him, with the Portuguese using Diego Costa, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Karim Benzema in similar ways. Mourinho may have moulded Drogba, but the player moulded Mourinho too. Left wing, Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o spent 2 seasons with Mourinho, one at Inter and one at Chelsea, and yet won 5 trophies with Jose. Strangely, the deadly Cameroonian was not his side's top scorer in either campaign, with just 16 goals in all competitions to Diego Milito's 30 in 2009-10. But Eto'o was a nightmare for defenders, as his pace and movement from wide opened space for his teammates. He scored for Barcelona in the 2009 Champions League final and assisted Milito in the final the following year. in the process becoming the only player in history to win trebles in 2 consecutive seasons. His 12 goals in 2013-14 for Chelsea may not look impressive, but only Eden Hazard scored more that year, and Eto'o was the perfect stopgap as Mourinho worked to ship out Demba Ba and Fernando Torres and bring in Diego Costa. Reliable, experienced, efficient, the essence of Jose Mourinho.
So we hope you enjoyed that, and if you want to check out more of our videos, then click here on screen. Don't forget to like and subscribe and get on our Snapchat and our Twitter.